Okay, we have the outer form placed. It was a perfect fit. I was going to caulk it in place, but I actually had to hammer it down. I had the fit just perfect, and I don't have to clamp it or support it. And we come in a little closer. We can see we've got the bubble leveled, and if this one is situated right, we see here we've got a level bubble. So there's the outer form. Now we got to get the inner form shimmed up and in place. Here we're getting ready to set the inner form in place, and here we can see my solution for the rebar. Up here real close you can see my rebar chairs that will hold them in place, but I'll be setting this into the middle of the outer form without the rebar. That will be put later, but there is the inner form. Also, these wooden dowels serve two purposes. That is the thickness of the shelf as well. When everything's done, my plan is to pound them out through the bottom form, and those will be drain holes for the upper compartment. So now let's get that inner form in place. Now the inner form is in place. We see down here at the bottom I've got 1.5 inch shim, and we have another one on the other side, and we take a look through the top. You can see I've got 2 shims going across the top, keeping everything square. So inner form is in, ready to go. Now I'm going to have to put the upper gaskets in place. I do believe we're ready, although it's not going to happen till tomorrow because the sun's going to set here pretty quick. But here we have the upper gaskets installed. We're not going to show you the back one, but it's the same way, and it's stapled in place. I don't know if you can, let's see if we can zoom in. We can see it down here. You see that little wooden half circle. That's going to be a drain. There's one on each side. And looking down from the top, you can see the space that's going to be the wall. I'm planning on pouring the concrete through the top, and the upper gasket should direct it down to the bottom. I'll fill up the bottom up till the bottom, then install the lower gasket, and then fill up to the top of the lower gasket, then put in the 2 side gaskets. But that's it. We're going to have to wrap it up. It's going to be a little moist tonight, no rain, but the humidity is going to be high. We need to keep that dry. So tomorrow, with any luck, we'll be mixing up our concrete. Alright, it's the next day. As I'm going over in my head how I'm going to do this, I decided I wanted to make sure this form's not going to move, although it's pretty solid. So I essentially staked and nailed the 4 corners to ensure the outer form doesn't shift on me. And over here we've got the mixer ready to go. Let's wander down the yard a little bit. And over here under the plastic I've got my sand and cement. So as I was thinking over my head how I'm going to do this, I'm looking down into here the best way to get the concrete started down at the bottom. Looking through the top, I was originally planning on just pouring it down the sides, but I'm thinking that might make a bit of a mess, so I've decided I need to construct a funnel that'll assist me in getting the concrete poured. So let's get that funnel created. Okay, there's the boards for my funnel. There's the plans for my funnel. Now let's start making some more sawdust. 1.5 spacer. Going to use the fence. We do not want to cross cut using the fence, so we'll use the spacer. And I want 15 inches. It's an 1.5 spacer, so we'll set the fence to compensate. Double check. 15 inches. Check the print. 15 inches. Move my shim back. These two boards are different length. These are all scrap cut-offs that I've had laying around. We're going to put them to some use. Push them hard up against the spacer. First cut. Going back to my print, I've got 6.5 inch. There's the 2 blanks for my sides. We have a taper on the sides, we'll cut later. Now for the front, 1/2 MDF, 16 by 8.5. This is again more cut-offs. One side of this is actually already sealed, so I'm going to make sure this is the side that's going to be going against concrete. We've got a deformity here, so we don't want to use that. Only 15 inches this way, so that will be the 8.5 inch side, so this is going to be 16. Double check since I'm going a little fast on this one, 16 inches. We'll look at the fence. Making sure we got 16 inches, going back to my plans, 8.5. Make sure I'm good, using a good side. Again, this is scrap lumber, so we have to make sure our sides are good. This one goes back into the scrap box. And just confirming, 8.5 by 16. 6.5 by 15, 6.5, 15. So there's a so far we've got our 2 sides and the front of our funnel. Now let's get to the back side. The back, 1/8 hardboard, 15 by 8.5. Here's a scrap piece of 1/8 hardboard I used for something. I don't know when, what it was for, but we're going to salvage some of this. That's 9 3/4. So we're going to use this end because this taper is about useless on this thing. If I was doing precision work, I'd get off the crosscut sled. And all this has to be is close. Let's make sure. 15 inches, 15 inches. It needs to be 8.5. That's 9 3/4, so we're good. This one back to the scrap pile. this edge isn't totally straight, so we're going to cut a straight edge on this side and then trim back down to size over here. And we got a nice clean flat edge over here. Make sure I don't want to waste this board, 8.5. Almost ready. Now we need to go back and cut that taper. Here we go. I've got my taper line marked out. This will be the funnel side. This is the back. This is the front. If you'll notice, I've got it screwed together, both boards. All the edges lined up, so I have two identical tapers. Since I don't have a taper jig, I've got to go over and use my bandsaw and cut it freehand. So let's move over to the bandsaw. Straight enough, nothing to worry about. A lot of everything. But there's my funnel. Gives me a nice big area to pour into, and as you can see, it directs it down through this opening here and in between the inner and outer forms. Be sure to subscribe to follow this project and hit that notification bell to be informed of future updates.